Greetings everyone, Angrade here with another Advanced Wars, Days of Ruin, Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the left side as Yellow the Fanatic. We got XivuTheInvader, butchered that word as well enough. Probably the word the, probably butchered that one. And spawn on the right side as the Green Will, we got CerebrateReturns. Will is of course unchanged from the cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost, 2 radius, 30, 60, 60. All units get +10/+10, ground units get additional plus 20% offense, and cores for superpower get +2 movement range. So effectively, I was going to say ground direct units, closest comparison is probably just, but not really. The Fanatic is colder in a gothic outfit, and also Praise of the Worm. It has a standard boarding cost, 3 radius, 30, 60, 60. This version of the Fanatic, all units get +10, +20% defense. All units within the CO zone that are wounded get additional +10/+10. All units in the for superpower, of course, provides that globally, +10, +20. Wounded units get additional +10/+10. And then inflicts plague upon your own units and all units of the field. Enemy units take 2 points of damage, your units take 3 points of damage, and at the start of each turn, each plague unit takes 1 point of damage, prevents any repairing, does not prevent repairing, does allow repairing, does prevent join, and also can be lethal. I butchered how I'd explain that. Global damage, so simply put, global damage over time. So let's go ahead and get started. This is a 3-base map, one airport, strong-sided, weak-sided mechanic. This map is also quite unique, the fact that there's an odd number of cities. The city in the center is symmetrical with itself. Looks like Will's pushing forward past the city. This map does offer a pair of comm towers on the weak side, so it does give you a reason to push the weak side to claim your opponent's comm tower. The weak side does offer a good amount of extra defensive capabilities. It's got a city next to the pair of forests and nestled in some mountainsides, so great place to put some artillery and rockets. And behind that is also another good spot for artillery or rocket on the city. And one mounted here to put another artillery rocket here as well. A lot of good defensive terrain for the weak side. Got triple bikes. Will starts from 7,000 monies. I can give him double bike, 1 infantry. Triple bike is cost what? Actually, triple bike costs 4,500, right? So that's quite completely wrong about that. Let's go for double bike infantry. Triple bike is 7,500. The Fanatic has 10,000 turns, so could go for tank double infantry. Goes for double mech infantry. I think double mech's actually quite interesting at this turn. Mechs are pretty slow. It's on the strong side. Maybe he's going to try to crawl through the mountains with mechs. I don't know if double mech's a great idea. We have a tank here by Will, as was a bike infantry. The Fanatic is starting to obtain this airport. He'll obtain his comm tower. The Fanatic is claiming up his now, which is fine until Andy did not capture before any engagements. Artillery, rig, and mech. So let's see if we can try to rig the game. Tank, bike. Seals the rig? I am not sure what's going on. The rig, of course, get additional defense and has plus 35% offense. Wait, oh yeah, it comes fully vetted. You don't see veteran rigs unless you're playing against Cass, the veteran specialist. They use the IDS soldier skin. Did she get recovered in the after the site got rebooted? I assume she still exists. Never really paid attention to see if there's any COs missing. Another rig CO enjoyer. Yes, I was not expecting that. It costs 2,500, offers good mobility. But I still don't see any real advantage of not COing a tank. I suppose you don't have to worry about it going care if it dies. Probably a good idea to try to blow out a temporary airport in the meantime. It does get trapped there. I mean, temporary airport here would be very nice to send air to have battlecopters get resupplied over here. And the bikes is pushing out here. Does spot a mech. There's also 2 infantry here, so the Fanatic will get some good engagements here with triple good engagements, it looks like. Quick with the Worm Wagon. Well, that APC is probably going to be filled with worms. What will shall ever be. What was the saying from Solaris? I'm not sure how many people here play Solaris as much as I do. But of course, the worm in waiting. Does join the 2 bikes together. It's generally a good idea to keep your units not close to death against the Fanatic. Artillery, bike, and anti-air. Good shots there. The Fanatic's already up to 39 energy, so good amount of energy right now. Got double flare, medium tank. The Fanatic's definitely playing very differently than a conventional manner, which is what I always like to see. Trying to deploy out the temporary airport before it gets itself wounded, I guess. I think as well, the 9 health units here do get additional firepower from being wounded. Tank, artillery, battlecopter, and bike. Flared fire. Does complete the temporary airport. Tank, anti-air, infantry, and battlecopter. Wills have 53 energy, the Fanatics have 42, so both players are pretty close to their superpower. This tank went to the wrong neighborhood. In range of the artillery, just needs a spotter. Infantry unit can easily spot it. Artillery can strike it, then the mech can come down off the mountain and shoot it. Flared fire. Interrupts that capture. Mech is a good shot there. Stops that capture entirely. Fanatic has enough for a superpower. He could pop it. Rig. Another rig? Why would he go for another rig? Did not pop the superpower. Rocket and bike. Mech gets knocked out. Finds the medium tank on top of the temporary airport. Guess the tank here did not get shelled. Global pop superpower, +2 movement range, not mentioned global firepower bonuses. Take some hits there. Superpower got a lot of movement, but didn't seem too spectacular, honestly. It does find the artillery. Down here is going to be a bit of a problem for the Fanatic. He's going to get overrun on the weak flank. On the strong flank, I should say. Will enter 140. The Fanatic starts to earn 121. He has a good amount of money sorting up, so there's time pod to pop. They're still pretty even at the moment, but he's going to go with the superpower. Superpower, you can see the green plague effect. This mech needs to be fanatical and just charge right forward because he's going to lose the end of turn. One health unit's got to be fanatical. There's a good amount of damage on across the front line. Gets a good shot there. Does finish off the tank. The 1 health mech does fall back. It's at the end of the turn. Yeah, that 1 health mech explodes. That was a bad call. Should have just threw it somewhere. Remember, 1 health units. Nope. That's going to die. That's going to die. I see a handful misplays by both players. 1 elf unit should be fanatical. It's the Fanatic. You gotta be fanatical. Get some damage there. Takes out the battlecopter, hits the tank. Battlecopter, and these two guys are going to explode. Struck the field, yeah. True, could have hit the artillery at least. Get some traps there. Fresh units, of course, not affected by the plague. Bit of resupply there. Battlecopter hits the tank. Anti-air, bike, and battlecopter. Command tank does fall back. 1 health infantry is going to explode. Battlecopter, anti-air, infantry, and bike. One more turn for Plague for the Fanatic. He takes an extra point of damage. Takes out that artillery there, takes out some units. Rocket advance way forward. Next to the rig, it's at 19 versus 18 energy. Bike, tank, and infantry. I think it's a good strike there. Does the bike there. C unit knocks out the medium tank, takes out anti-air while at it, up to 30 energy now, so +1 radius. Tank recon and anti-air. Takes out the bike there. Anti-air are anti-tank and infantry. Game's definitely slowed down quite a bit since the plague. Both players have 24,000 income at the moment. There's one province in the center still despicably neutral. Mech, tank, and mech with another battlecopter down south. Flare is fired. This flare is out of ammo. This flare is on top of city. Hits the bike there twice, getting nice 37 energy versus 30 energy. Another infantry. Medium tank. And tank. Got another mech here. Tank. It's tank. Command tank push forward, 45 energy. Will probably get enough power charge for another superpower. Looks like he will not. Playing targets in front of him, but he simply just doesn't have enough momentum to get the power charge going. Finds the rocket. I can't tell you if this is a good or bad thing right now. Can't hit it, but it's in range of some stuff. Resupplies there. Flare fires up here. Hits the infantry into there. Hits a battlecopter at the 40 energy, 52 energy. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. 60 energy. He can pop superpower. Pops the superpower. The rocket did not get any bonus damage there since it's not wounded. Starting to catch us some cities up here. Hits the bike up north. Anti-air, flare, bike, and battlecopter. Picks up the what's it called, battlecopter there. Hits the medium tank with the artillery. Spots a good number of infantry units out there. If he did not send the anti-air to hit the mech, because it would be shelled by the artillery. Artillery, medium tank, and bike. Got these being catch up there. Flare hits the anti-air. Anti-air hits the anti-air. Of course, the Fanatic will take another point, 2 more points of what's called plague damage. Well, we'll only take 1 more point of plague damage. Which looks like this battlecopter will probably be brought down by plague. mech flare in E tier at instead of 149 versus 141. Fanatic has a slight advantage, does donate some veterancy to the E tier if it wasn't already maxed out vet. Good shots up north. Got a couple tanks in here in reserve. Battlecopter, mech, tank, and infantry. Battlecopter hits tank, battlecopter hits tank. Recon gets hit. Command recon goes down. A tier takes the battlecopter. Maybe I'll capture these properties, but they're pretty wounded and not enough force to interrupt the units. The Fanatic is starting to rotate up north. Right now 19 energy versus 0. Could CO a tank, mech, or infantry. Could CO the battlecopter. Another thing dies due to plague. Battlecopter does hit the battlecopter. Medium tanks up north, getting a good amount of damage on, getting some veterans going. This should have been last turn, last turn for plague. Mech, infantry, and tank. Couple flares. Finished building temporary airport up here. Takes the battlecopter there. Battlecopter falls back to the temporary airport. Got a lot of artillery here by green. Okay, so bike there, medium tank, infantry, and bike. Does take out the battlecopter with the medium tank. And this prop is still despicably neutral. Flare, recon, and bike. Artillery gets struck. A couple more flares there. How many flares do they have in the field? 3? This flare has 1 ammo remaining. And he has gotten for a 4th flare. Tank, bike, and flare. Bike decides to do a nice little recon pass there. Spot some stuff that's significant. Went off battlecopter, ruffling battle, joins with the battlecopters together. Rocket, tank, and mech. Medium tank here, maximum advantage from medium tank on triple defense star Woods. Took an artillery hit. Oh, it's trying to be captured up right now. Nope, gets interrupted. Fanatic does have enough from those superpower. I have no idea what would be a good time to pull out the Fanatic superpower. It feels more detrimental than useful due to the fact that he gets an extra turn of damage over time. I think it should be equal number of turns, if not his opponent gets taken an extra point of damage. Mech now trying to capture up the central city. Artillery, medium tank, and bike. Superpower activated. Something exploded. Does take out the mech there. Anti-air does take out the mech. Medium tank hits mech. Anti-tank push forward to the forest. Does start machine gun down artillery piece. Does not take it out. It will receive health recovery starting next turn. Does hit the anti-air. Hits the tank. Hits the tank twice. We do have flare, infantry, flare, and battlecopter. There's been so many flares by the Fanatic. It's actually quite absurd. Does hit the infantry unit, hits the anti-air. Does, of course, a bit of global defense to work with. Granted, when this turn ends, all of his units get additional +10/+10. Now we're at full health. In total, again, they're affected by at least by 30% defense minus whatever percentage health they're missing. So if they're missing 1 health, they have what, 27% extra defense. Oops, something exploded there. Does look at the medium tank there. Tank finish off bike. Flare takes out anti-air. Going to capture some properties again. Got a missile in range. Takes out the anti-air. And some good hits up north. Battlecopter, oh, self-exploded. Battlecopter, recon, flare, and infantry. Another flare. Will has enough for a superpower, pops it. 1 health unit does sack itself. Good number of 1 health units now for the Fanatic. Does take up the units up north. They still got a flare, battlecopter, and some other stuff up here. Takes another flare down south. Mech's getting hit. Does sack that bunch of 1 health units there. Insert for 107. The Fanatic has 151, so the Fanatic has more value on the field. The Fanatic's at 31 energy. Bike, tank, bike. Something exploded. I think it was a 1 health infantry unit. Medium tank does get struck. Up north, rocket took out a unit. ATR goes down center. Mech does strike the medium tank. Medium tank hits medium tank. Medium tank gets knocked out. There goes another flare. There is an anti-tank in range of the medium tank as a regular tank, and of course it is wounded, so it gets some additional firepower. And it's on top of the despicably neutral property. And it's turned with an ATR, bike, mech, and battlecopter. Does the battlecopter twice. Of course, a couple units are now in range of the artillery. Does spot the rocket there. The battlecopter could ruffle its way forward and engage it. Decides to go backwards. He has enough for another superpower. Does not pop it. ATR, anti-tank, and tank. Flare gets struck by the battlecopter. 3 off artillery push way forward. Gets out a wounded mech. Does spot the anti-tank. Use the medium tank to strike the anti-tank. Does the anti-tank taking a beating. Plague could finish it off. Is that a good or bad thing? Plague can finish off with the wounded that's getting wounded really hard. Pops Plague. Tank does fall back, can still be repaired on up. Tank does go down, takes out that recon as well. Hits the medium tank there, down to 2 health. It could be plague death, and he has to fall back to a city this turn, or else it will wilt away. Infantry, tank, and mech. Helicopter heading up north, hits the infantry unit twice. Tank hits the flare. Flare gets knocked out. Mech does take a shot there against the rig. Does get another superpower off from Will. It's like the 3rd or 4th one in this game for him. Battlecopter, mech, medium tank, and recon. Something wilted the way. He did park that 1 health medium tank on top of the city. It will recover. Takes out some more units. Does spot this artillery there in range of the medium tank, I believe. And this is still the original CO unit that's rigged. Infantry, medium tank, and mech. Insert 136 of 102. The central property is still despicably neutral. He has managed to capture one of these properties up here, so that's the difference, what's making it the capture game not symmetrical. Does spot the rocket. Does take out the ATR, hits the max veterancy rocket with a 3 health medium tank, only 2 points of damage. It's also on top of a city with the effects of the aura. So it has right now a nice 69% defense. Now it's up to 73. Will's tank could go down. So the last turn Plague to affect the Fanatic does take out a battlecopter there, hits the medium tank. Regular tank hits anti-air, does not finish off. Battlecopter finish off the Will's command tank. And the Fanatic has another superpower available. And since he already gets affected by Plague, there's actually a good case of argument to say go for Plague now, since he's already going to be affected by it. And he does pop it. Something exploded. I didn't see what unit it was. Also got a bit of a human mechapede being formed up over here. Goes right now is at 20 units versus 32, so that is quite a bit of importance there. He has a nice even 100,000 in the field versus 124 versus the Fanatic's day to day. So the Fanatic's about 2 turns ahead. Does take out that rocket with maximum veterancy. And starting to pose a threat to some of these cities up here. Does not take out the mech there. Tank is going to explode. Is at 5% health, but of course Plague. Mech's at 2% health, and it will explode next turn as well. Yep, looks like this mech and bike will both be going down. Try to go over recall and pass there. What will be shall ever be. If Will's gonna be worshipping the worm. I mean, the worm is a pretty good if you find the worm in Solaris, it's pretty actually good to worship the worm. Stuff explodes. Medium tank double bike. Does get a shot there. The Fanatic's up 33 energy. Will's at 0. Infantry, tank, infantry. Oh, the Will... Oh, yeah. I can't remember how many turns of Plague has passed on by. It feels like it's like there's been almost a constant state of Plague on all the units this entire game. Anti-airs get some good shots, however they're going to be shelled and tanked next turn. One of these anti-airs will likely be going down. Needs 5 more catch progress, so this bike will capture that city there, giving the Fanatic a bit more of an edge. Double tank and artillery. The Fanatic's CO unit's almost down finally at 2% health. Joins the rigs together. Have I ever seen the 2 rigs or 2 APCs ever join together in Advanced Wars by Web or by Tiny Wars? I don't think I have. I don't think I've ever cast a game where a rig or APC got joined together. Mech finished off the anti-air. No more Plague on the map. Bike, tank, and mech with another battlecopter down south. Medium tank gets struck by the artillery. Got a full health tank here to help out. Hits the battlecopter. Finish off the recon. Finish off the flare. And the Fanatic's had, once again, enough power for a superpower. Will he go for it this turn? He does not. Does finish off that unit there. Up north, medium tank does get struck. Tank, anti-air, and infantry. Yep, it does finally get captured. And Will has resigned. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.